I'm Sancha Diebel from North Battleford in Saskatchewan.
Oh, well, hello. Thank you so much for taking the time to meet with me.
Thank you. You're welcome.
So when did you hear about the convoy and when did you know you wanted to join?
Okay, I heard about it about a week before, January the 24th, and I heard about it on Facebook. And I thought, oh, that'd be neat to do. I felt really silenced the last 2 years and had just a small circle of friends that had the same kind of feelings as myself. And so when this popped up, the fact I could drive truck as well, it alerted me, and I thought, you know what, I'm going to go as far as Regina, Saskatchewan, and just do that, meet other like-minded truckers and supporters and freedom fighters, and then come back home, back to work.
So you had how long were you gone for?
A month.
Oh,
1 month.
so one night kind of turned into a month.
Yes. So I got to Regina and met the fellow truck drivers and freedom fighters, and my heartstrings were pulling me east. So I called my husband and said, you know what, I cannot turn west. I have to keep going and follow my heart. So I ended up in Ottawa.
Oh, wow. Very nice. And what was the support like along the side of just along the way?
Oh, amazing. Actually heart-wrenching. And I actually felt the support along the ditches, on the overpasses, that they were the true warriors, because they were out there in extreme cold weathers, day and night, standing for hours and hours, waving their Canadian flags. And I felt so Canadian. You can tell I'm not Canadian, I'm actually British. And I moved to Canada for freedom, which is why it's ironic that 18 years later, I'm in the capital fighting for every one of our freedoms. But overwhelming response.
Yeah, and what was the energy like downtown Ottawa?
Amazing energy, amazing positive energy. Smiling, lots of smiling, hope. People actually found hope, and they realized they weren't alone, because everyone came together. And love is so powerful, and together we can move mountains, and that's how everyone felt.
And now you'd mentioned earlier you drive trucks. So do you brought your own truck down there? Or?
I did. I brought my own truck and only packed for a day's trip. So 1 month later, later I had to go and, get some more supplies. But yeah, I did. I have a Peterbilt truck and drove it down myself.
Wow,
yes.
That's awesome. High five. Thank you.
Thank you.
And what do you feel was accomplished in Ottawa?
Unity. That's what I believe the government fear is, the fact love and unity is a powerful thing. And that's where the fear comes in on the other side of the fence. We accomplished hope, coming together, the East coming together with the West. I cannot over tell you that feeling, and everyone's hugs. I've never had so many hugs in my life.
Oh, right on.
Yeah, so we accomplished a lot of love, unity, and I always was believed, I think, through the government that the East didn't like the West and vice versa, but that was not true. That's what I found.
Right on. Well, thank you. Is there anything else you would like to add, or
that we're going to keep fighting? Everyone keep fighting, coming together, making a stand, and we'll win this. Truth always prevails.
Hi, I'm Roy Swanson, owner of Run Trucking from Athabasca, Alberta.
When did you hear about the convoy, and when did you know you wanted to join the movement?
I was kind of buried in work, and I heard a little bit about the border blockings going on, but I didn't really hear too much. And then one of my drivers, Brent, come over for supper, and he mentioned it to me on a Saturday night. I don't remember the date. And we kind of chatted about it a little bit. And then Sunday I was checking the schedule, and the convoy was leaving Atchison on Sunday at 5:00, and there was no way I could be ready for that. So then I got checking the schedules that night, and I was thinking, well, geez, we could catch up with them in Lloyd, leaving at 10 o'clock from Lloyd, right? So the next day I phoned Brent, and I'm like, you know what? I think I'm going to join that convoy. I feel like this is time. Like, we need to go, right? And he says, okay, give me a minute. I'll call my wife, right? And then so he calls his wife, calls me back. He says, yep, I'm coming with you. And I'm like, well, shit, we both can't go. Like, I can't, I got 8 trucks, right? Like, we both can't go. So I'm like, how about you go? I'll supply the truck and the fuel, and then we're both there supporting the cause, right? So yeah, we found out. And, Saturday I found out. Sunday we decided we're going. Monday morning we joined up with a convoy. That's how that went.
Wow, nice. And I'm noticing some signatures on your truck behind you. What's all that about?
That's being parked in Ottawa. They signed the truck all up. I don't know, there must be a million signatures on it or more. Trying to find somebody to preserve it for me, but I'm not having much luck. I'm going to have to do something myself. That's all the people supporting us in Ottawa. Hey, I'm not going to work it anymore. We'll just leave her parked and try to preserve it.
And when did you go down to Ottawa?
Well, I was wanting to go for quite a while. Me and Brent were talking about it, but I had trucks breaking down, motors going. I was having a hard time getting away, and I just figured if I can get 2 days with the trucks with no breakdowns, I'm going to go. JT went and invoked the Emergency Act, and I thought the only way to fight that is with extra numbers in Ottawa. So I basically dropped everything. I did 3,700 kilometers in 42 hours and went and joined up with them.
Wow. And what was your experience like downtown Ottawa when you arrived?
Well, I kind of got there, like, there was a lot, like, in where the truck was parked on Albert and Kent, there was so many people supporting, like, people were hugging and giving, saying prayers and just saying thank yous and just so much support. It was very emotional. It was hard not to cry, not going to lie. And then we went up to the front line, and I kind of seen what the cops were doing. Like, they were, I kind of got there in time for the big push, right? Kind of the fight, I guess. And they were pushing people around and running people over with horses. And, I got there just in time for that, right? So, and then the next day, same thing, like, got up to the front line and they were pushing people with sticks. I took a little bit of a beating by the cops. They whacked me a few times with those sticks. They tear gassed us. And just standing there, right? Like, we weren't doing anything to deserve it. Like, they were pushing us out, right? Pretty aggressive, though, violently.
So you were able to travel a bit with the convoy on the way back. How was that?
It was really good. Like, I had a hard time, like, in such a short time meeting up with the group. They just become family, right? And it was hard. After having your freedoms taken away and not being able to go join in social gatherings and social groups, and, like I know a lot of people don't agree that we had our freedoms taken away, but, when you don't really experience it until you get into a group of a million people that are all hugging and shaking hands, and none of that stuff matters, right? So they became family really, really fast, right? And it was hard to get away from them and come back to reality, right? Because, like, our freedoms have been robbed from us. We haven't been able to go to the restaurants. We haven't been able to go join in social gatherings. It was really tough to break away. And I ended up just staying with the group. One of my trucks broke down on the side of the road, and I just said, to hell with it. Like, it's not worth it. Like, this freedom is what we're after, right? Like, and so I just kind of stayed with the group, and we met so many good people on the way down, and so many emotional things. And, we got into Winnipeg to do the drive for Dennis. And so when we did that drive for Dennis, that was very, very emotional, especially when I seen those kids up on the snowbank and holding their signs up. It was very emotional, That's all I can say. I think we pretty much talked to the group every day since, right? And been only gone for about a week now, not even. But yeah, they'll always be family now. I'm hoping that we can all unite and get back together again.
Hi, everyone. I'm Ken from Southeast Saskatchewan.
Hey, Ken. Thank you so much for taking the time to talk with me today. So just curious, so when did you know about the convoy, and when did you know that you wanted to join?
Well, it was probably about a week before we left on January 24th. And I was talking to my neighbor, and he said he was thinking about going. And I'd seen it on Facebook and whatever, but I wasn't really following it. And I was kind of just joking around at first. He said, yeah, get the truck ready to go and kind of do whatever it takes, I guess. I don't know.
Oh.
So put up a Saskatchewan and Canadian flag and headed off to Brandon in the morning to meet the convoy. Up until Headingley, it was crazy. There's people everywhere, guys ripping down the ditch, and like every mile road on the number 1 highway from Brandon all the way up to the outskirts of Winnipeg. There's people everywhere. There's Hutterite colonies out there. My truck had that issue. I went to a little mom and pop shop. It was about half hour north and spent about 6-7 hours there. DMC Diesel in Warren, Manitoba. So they stayed late. We got parts out of Winnipeg. The truck back on the road.
Oh, that's awesome. So now when you got to Ottawa, what would you say the energy was like downtown?
Yeah, the energy was always good. Like, the generosity across this country is unreal. Majority of the people in Ottawa that we met were friendly.
So did you have any idea how long you would be down there for?
I don't know. Originally, I talked with my family and my boss about being gone for 2 weeks.
Did you know anyone going down other than Cody? Like, or did you just decide to do this on your own?
Well, I liked my neighbor, Riley, and then Cody. That was about it. But, like, not too long after I left, there's a couple messages of some other local people that seen me on Facebook or whatever, and then other local people that they know that I didn't know were going.
That's awesome. So now that you've been home for like a few days, how's that been being like kind of away from everything and everyone?
Well, like, I don't know. We all couldn't stay forever. You know that, right? I'm just kind of happy to be home. But yeah, I've been back to work a couple days now.
And so what do you feel was accomplished like downtown Ottawa, like in Ottawa?
Like, we definitely backed the government pretty far into a corner. We just kind of seen their true colors, and I hope the whole country starts to realize that. I know a lot of the provinces have, released or eased off on the mandate. No masks, no vaccine passport anymore. Like, the kids don't even have to wear it in school. So pretty heartwarming when my daughter said she was happy she didn't have to wear a mask anymore. So small victory for the West, but it ain't over everywhere. I realize that. So, and obviously, it's pretty obvious, we really got to talk about it, but the mainstream media being so corrupt.
Yep, no, right on. They were certainly exposed, that's for sure.
Main reason I left is for my kids, but I think I kind of stayed for our country. Keep on fighting, because freedom is mandatory. That's all I got to say.
Hi all, I'm Dan Friesen from Winkler, Manitoba.
Hey, hi Dan. Thank you so much for meeting with me today. So just wondering, when did you find out about the convoy, and when did you know you wanted to be a part of it?
I heard about it probably about a week and a half before the guys left the West Coast. And at first I thought, well, that's good, but in the trucking industry, there's been planned protests throughout the years, and it just never really amounted to more than a couple hundred guys here and there, and was very ineffective. So I was a little undecided what I thought about it at first. I thought it was good, but didn't really know if it was going to gain the momentum that it did. So, I started paying attention to it, and just seemed like every day the momentum grew and grew and grew. And I guess the day that I decided that this was actually going to really be effective or gain a lot of traction, I was sitting at home feeling actually quite defeated with all the COVID and stuff like that, all the new mandates for cross-border trucking and all this good stuff. And I just remember I was sitting at home and I was kind of down in the dumps. My brother sent me a link for the GoFundMe. And it had just started, like the day prior, it was almost at 100,000 already. And I'm like, after a day, 100,000, guys want to support this. So that's when I kind of jumped on board and really thought about being a part of it. And very glad that I did.
And did you know anyone prior, or anyone going on the convoy, or did you just go by yourself?
I guess when I decided, then I started asking other drivers from the area here and friends that I've made on the road and stuff. And everybody was kind of like me, like they were undecided if they were going to go. With that said, I actually met a lot of the guys that I talked to in the convoy and in Ottawa as well. So.
And what would you say the experience was like rolling through all the towns with the supporters and stuff?
Well, if I thought the GoFundMe was inspiring to me, traveling down the roads and looking at the hope, like face to face. I mean, driving through the convoy, it's hard to actually look, but you can glance, right? And just to see the hope on people's faces that the convoy brought, very overwhelming.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't just in one place. Like even the one lonely guy in Northern Ontario standing at the end of his driveway waving his flag for hours on end until the last truck rolled by or whatever. You know, like even just the simplest little things, all the support, it was just amazing.
So what do you feel like the energy was like in downtown Ottawa?
I think the energy was good. Very positive. Everybody was getting along. Like-minded people. But with that said, I think the government did a very good job with the fear-mongering. Everybody handled it differently, and it seemed like everybody was at a different stage as it was going on. But everybody was so like-minded, it didn't take long for you just have a conversation and just disperse the fear. So everything was good until it wasn't. When the police came Friday and Saturday and did their pushing on the protesters and stuff like that. But up until then, it was just a peaceful gathering, celebration. Everybody was getting along. We were just waiting for our conversation with the government, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which never ended up happening.
And did you know how long you would be gone?
Well, with the momentum that the convoy had, I honestly thought that they were going to lift mandates before the convoy even got to Ottawa. And when they didn't, and we made it into Ottawa, no, I had no idea how long it would take.
No, how long were you gone for?
Till I got actually home, I would say 5 weeks. 4.5 to 5 weeks.
Okay.
But I know downtown was a full 3 weeks. So.
3 weeks. Now you've been home for a few days now, or however many days. How's that been?
Well, it's slowly getting better. The first few days, I missed all of it. You're at home. I got my family, which is in full support of all of this. It kind of feels like you went from 100% protesting to 50% protesting or 25% protesting. Now I just have friends and other family members that are interested in what all happened there and stuff like that. And you have the conversations of what it was like. And even though they're 100% on board and supporting, if I would say I'm 100% awake, they're 50% awake. So you can have the conversation, and then as you're talking, it's like, well, I didn't realize it was that. I didn't realize it was like that. And a lot of people, when I'm done having the conversation, they're more awake than what they were, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no.
So it's been good.
Perfect sense, yeah. And what do you feel was accomplished in Ottawa, like convoying there?
Before I went on it, a guy felt very defeated and alone, right? Like you still have your group of friends that you can deal with, but I think the government did a very good job of making everybody feel like they were in this all by themselves or whatever. And the convoy made me and a lot of people realize that they're not alone. Like hundreds of thousands or millions across this country. And you've seen it going through every town, every little community, how much hope the people had through all of it, and made everybody realize that we're not alone. And even though Ottawa is done, all those people still know that they're not alone. There's protests happening all over the country. Nobody's giving up yet, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just keep fighting the good fight, people. It's not over. The government keeps throwing more and more stuff at us. just stand your ground and just don't comply with it. Just do whatever you feel and whatever you can to say no to a tyrannical government.
Hi, my name is Josh Waslenka. I'm from Wynyard, Saskatchewan.
So when did you hear about the convoy, and when did you know you wanted to join?
Heard about the convoy about a day before they were in Saskatoon, and I decided that I was going to join it a day after they had left Regina. It was a very last-minute decision to get on this convoy. Packed everything up in about 30 minutes, threw it in the truck, and took off, and left Wynyard at about 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and met up with you guys in Sault Ste. Marie. I don't know, I just had a feeling that I needed to be there. That's really, I don't even know how to explain it, but it was just something that I felt I needed to do, so I got in the truck and met up with you guys.
Oh, that's awesome. And what was the experience like rolling through all the towns and everything with the convoy?
Amazing to see all the people come together to support us on what we thought was the right thing to do. It's very emotional to see all those people out there. Yeah, it was crazy. I still don't even know how to put it into words. I was seeing all those people on the overpasses.
And what was the energy like, would you say, downtown Ottawa?
Oh, it was sad and happy at the same time. You could see there was so much love, and you could just to see all the kids down there playing, having fun, smiling, everybody smiling. But it was also very hard to see all those families and all those people crying because their lives have been changed, and they're there to support us to just help them have their lives back. It's still hard to put into words on the energy. It was amazing. That's all I can say.
When you decided you wanted to go, did you know anyone, or did you just jump in the truck, go by yourself?
I just went by myself. I talked about it for about an hour with my family back here, and they gave me all the support to go. So I left.
Did you know how long you were going to be gone for?
I thought we would have been in Ottawa for maybe 7 to 10 days, maybe, max. I did not expect to be there for a month.
Okay, yeah. Oh, that's awesome. And so now that you've been back home for a couple of days, how's that been?
It's a lot different. There's still a lot of people around here that don't know why we went or don't understand why we went. And all they did was watch mainstream media, and it's very hard to show them and try and tell them what actually went on down there. But I still have a feeling that we're not done yet, and I should be doing more. So it's hard for me to stay home. I think I should be with you guys in Calgary.
And so, in your opinion, what do you feel was accomplished, in Ottawa while we were there?
We pretty much brought everybody together. We all, doesn't matter what province we're from or anything, everybody is on the same page. We brought Canada back together as one. We started to get some mandates lifted, and hopefully that stays the way it's supposed to go.